everybody, and welcome to another installment of The Takeaway. It's so good to have you with us. If you've been journeying with us over the past couple of weeks, you know that we are in a series called Living Wisely, and we're deep diving the book of Proverbs, a book that is just filled with so much wisdom. Today I'm not alone. I'm here with Anne. Thank you so much for joining us.
You are welcome.
Yeah, so today she shared obviously from the book of Proverbs, and today we spoke a lot about the heart and wisdom for the heart.
Yes.
We had a very interesting introduction, an interesting start. We did a little Bible study. So yeah, if you're keen to deep dive or do a Bible study, Anne showed us a really cool technique of drawing and colors. I got lost in the sauce. I had all the different pens and was doing all the...
Yeah, that can happen.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe you could start us off by giving us an overview of the scripture and the passage that we dived into and some of those key points from it.
Yeah, so we dived into Proverbs 4, verse 20 to 27. I think I probably underlined this verse in my young adult years, like in my Bible, because, you know, you are looking for your life partner, relationships. It's all about the heart. But I think this is a lot deeper, actually, than just emotions and relationships. This is really the heart. Unpacking the heart, if we look at the Hebrew root, the word is lev. And that word lev in the Hebrew is so full, so rich. It's like the control center of the human experience, really.
Yeah.
So it is your desires, your emotions. It impacts the choices that you make. It is your feelings, but it's also your thoughts. So it's such a rich word. And so the verse is, guard your heart, for from it flow the issues of life. And different translations will say different things. From it flow the understanding of life. From it comes it is the spring of life. So depending on what translation you're looking at. But really what it's saying is that the condition of your heart is going to impact the expression of your life.
Absolutely, yeah. And I really loved how you sort of unpacked what the heart means and also sort of unpacked the different elements of this inner man or spiritual journey that we're on. Of the heart, the eyes, the feet. Maybe you can share a little bit about the relationship between the heart and the mind, and how guarding our heart also means renewing our minds, especially in our culture where there's so much that is seeking our attention.
Yeah. So there's a neuroscientist that I follow called Dr. Caroline Leaf. And she says that, you know, when we think mind, we think brain.
Yeah.
But the mind actually controls the brain. The mind is what you use to think, feel, and choose. But then that lev heart is where you feel and you choose. So in the Old Testament, when it talks about heart, it's talking about feeling and choosing, which is something that in our Western modern day culture, we ascribe to the mind. And so I think one of the things that we have to remember is that the Bible was written for us, but it wasn't written to us. It was written in another time. And so the Hebrew words in the Bible, heart being the control center and mind being logical thoughts. But we know, or we have a different definition of mind now. So I wanted to put those two things together. I wanted to put the renewal of your heart and the renewal of your mind kind of go together, because as we understand mind today, it's our thinking and our feeling and our choosing. And so Romans 12:12, it says, you will be transformed by the renewal of your mind. What comes out of your mouth is a reflection of what is in your heart.
Yeah.
And the choices that you make, the direction that you choose for your life, the people that you hang out with, where and how you spend your money, those things are all a reflection of what's in your heart. And if you're trying to change that, if you're trying to change what's important to you, if you're trying to change who you hang out with, if you're trying to change what you're attracted to, you've got to change your heart. That's where the transformation is needed.
Yeah.
But it starts with transforming your mind. It starts with, what are you allowing in So the eye being the lamp of the body, Matthew 6:22. What are you allowing into your eye? Because what comes into your eyes goes into your mind. And if you are continually seeking that out, if your eye is continually looking for that, what gets your attention will get your affection. And the affection talks about the heart. Yeah. And so those two things go hand in hand. The renewal of the heart, the renewal of the mind is transformative.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I think I love how you've sort of put it, because a lot of us often focus on trying to change the outer habits and the outer things, where in actual fact there's a much deeper work that needs to happen, and that will be revealed in our actions outside. I think you used the example of a sponge. You know, if you dip it in clean water and you squeeze it out, you know, that clean water would come out. But if you dip it in dirty water, when the pressures of life come, whatever's inside is what will come out.
Yeah, when life puts on the squeeze, we are going to see what's really in your heart. When life gets tough, when your parents get sick and they need more of you, that's sort of the season that you find yourself in. That's tough. When you've got little children and there's no time for yourself, that's tough. When you are at university and there's deadlines and pressure and relational conflicts and, boyfriends, girlfriends, like all of that, that's tough. Like they're in every single season of your life. Life will put the squeeze on you.
Yeah.
And it's about what's really, really inside. Whatever comes out, that reveals the condition of your heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this also just speaks to that idea of our undivided attention and our focus on Jesus. I think sometimes we're able to get through these situations. But I love the example that you used of Lot's wife.
Yes, I love that too.
And that importance of fixing our eyes on Jesus, because when our eyes are fixed on him, the worries and the distractions of this world seem to fade away. Maybe you can unpack that a bit more.
So, I mean, that example, I have to give credit to Christine Kane here because I really borrowed from her there. So she talks about the only woman that Jesus tells us to remember is Lot's wife. And she's memorable not because she did something right. She's memorable because she is an example of, if you want to hold on to your life and you want to hold on to what has given you fulfillment, like the external stuff, you will lose your life. I have a friend who has walked an incredible journey over the last 2.5 years, a journey of real heart transformation.
Sure.
And there was a time when she said to me, I know that I have to give these things up, but I don't want to.
Sure, yeah.
And that's exactly what happens. We keep on looking back and going, oh, it was so nice. And those people were so nice. Or that friendship was so nice. It was so nice to feel like loved or liked by that person when you know that it's a toxic relationship. It was so comfortable to be earning that amount of money when you know that work situation was toxic. And so we sometimes look back at those things. We're like, oh, it was so nice. It's so nice. And we get comfortable.
Yeah.
We put up a tent, we put up a camp, and then we get stuck.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened to Lot's wife. She looked back and she got stuck. And also, when it comes to this, looking back, I think of athletes. And if you've got an athlete and he's running a race or she's running a race, and it's almost a neck and neck race, if the athlete who is winning turns to look back, the entire body mechanics change.
Absolutely, yeah.
Energy goes in the wrong direction, and that person who is on her shoulder, that person's going to win, whether they're swimming or running or whatever the case may be. And so you've got to keep your eyes on God. You've got to keep your eyes on the race. You've got to keep your eyes on the track and just head forward.
Yeah, I think that's so good and so true. And I think it also speaks to this idea of pilgrimage. We've been speaking about this path and journey and following Jesus and staying on this path. Maybe you can share a bit about some of the stories you shared about what it means in practice to walk with Jesus. And even if we fall away, even like you mentioned with your friend, what it looks like to come back and to still pursue him.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a A pilgrimage is a journey towards something. You know, you set your mind on, I'm going on a pilgrimage. I've got this destination in mind. That's where I'm heading towards. Sometimes you join other people on their pilgrimage. They go slower, you go faster. It doesn't really matter who gets there first. It's not a race. But it's about what you experience and how you walk with God. And it's every small step in the right direction creates a habit. So back to neuroscience. Our behaviors are a result of our thoughts. And so if we do the same thing every single day, one small change starts to lead towards a bigger and bigger and bigger change. It's like they say, if you have an airplane and the airplane starts heading 2 degrees off course, it's going to end, you know, until it realizes it's going to end far away. And so if you get 2 degrees off course and you start stepping in that direction, you're going to find yourself off the path. Whether it happens quickly or slowly, you're going to find yourself off the path. But the beautiful thing about the path is that it's always there.
Yeah.
Jesus says that he is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through him. His path is always there. He hasn't decided that today he's not the way. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And so that path is always there. It's waiting for you to walk it, to run it, to crawl it. It doesn't matter how you do it, so long as you get on it and stay on it.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely beautiful and so encouraging that, the path is always there and we can always come back, and there's no need to hurry or stress. I think you said late and right is better than wrong
and early.
So that's so encouraging. But maybe you can close off with some key takeaways for people who are listening that they can take away from the sermon.
So, I think one of the things that I wanted to get across was that the wisdom that we find in Proverbs is embodied in Christ.
Sure, yeah.
So we see, every proverb, every sort of verse that I went through, I tried to say, yes, we have to guard our heart, but how do we do that? Paul tells us to renew our minds. Paul tells us to think about things that are lovely and pure and honorable and right and good.
Yeah.
Yes, we have got to be careful what comes out of our mouth, but Jesus says it, out of the overflow of your heart, the mouth speaks.
Yeah.
And so everything, all the wisdom in Proverbs is lived out as Jesus lives things out, and as the apostles wrote the epistles. And so I just, I really wanted to get people to understand that the practical workings of the Proverbs was lived out by Jesus's life. And if we're not sure what something's supposed to look like, we can look at Jesus and go, that's what it's supposed to look like. That's what staying on the path looks like. That's what keeping your gaze firm looks like. That's who I need to look at, so that I can affect the condition of my heart.
Yeah, it seems like the answer as always is Jesus.
The answer is always Jesus.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think, we were also encouraged and challenged by what you shared.
Thanks so much, Jess.
Awesome. And thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that you were encouraged and challenged by this word to really consider what it looks like to fix your gaze on Jesus, and to let the overflow of your heart be all the things that he embodies. We hope to see you again next week, and thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week for more wisdom from the book of Proverbs. See you then.